Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Once World. And I've been signaling for a week or so that the Monday after Epiphany is Plough Monday. Well, that was yesterday. And I normally do different things to celebrate the day. And I'll tell you about what I did yesterday. Now, in years past, I've done all kinds of things. The most obvious is a cheese plate, because in England, the ploughman's lunch, which you often get at pubs, or used to be able to get at pubs, nowadays they have more full meals and what have you, but back when I was an undergraduate living in Oxford, you could get a ploughman's lunch at most pubs. And what it consisted of was a slab of cheese, a piece of bread, and a pickled onion. And it's okay for a quick meal, because ploughmen back in the late 19th, early 20th century used to take a big hunk of cheese and a piece of bread for their lunch. And in the 19th century, they also used to have a jug of beer as well. Not very strong beer, but in Australia, when I lived there, or lived in South Australia, the licensing laws meant that pubs could be open at 6 in the morning and they would close at 6 at night, which was very old-fashioned, because they opened at 6 so that people going to the fields for the day could get their jug of ale before they went off. And that was also true in England until the First World War, when I think it was David Lloyd George, when he was Prime Minister, changed the licensing laws so that it became very unusual. The pubs would normally open at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Close at 2 o'clock, and then open again at 6 until 10:30. A little bit longer on weekends and a little bit shorter on Sundays, but he was concerned that munitions were not being constructed to order properly, because the workers at the munitions factories were spending all their afternoons in the pubs, and so he curtailed them. And that's all changed now. It's now back to something more regular. But back in the 19th century, ploughmen could go to a pub at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that was also true in South Australia, holdover from British rules, that you go to the pub at 6, get a jug of beer, so you could take that plus your cheese and bread into the field and have a decent lunch at midday. So I would often make a cheese plate. I've got a picture here somewhere. Different ones. I mean, really fancy, not an average ploughman's lunch, but something much more exotic. And then some years I would make a plough pudding. Now that's a suet pudding, but instead of making it with steak and kidney, you make it with various, smoked or prepared meats, sausage meat, ham hock smoked, or what have you, which I've also got here. But yesterday I did something a little bit different. I've always known that you could take a Camembert or a Brie, but normally Camembert, and wrap it in puff pastry and bake it. And so I did that. So here it is. It's not very complicated. And you can do it in a lot of different ways, but mine was just plain. And I was really surprised at how much the baking brings out the flavor of the Camembert. It becomes much, much richer. Now, some people have recipes that call for adding ingredients to the cheese before you wrap it in the pastry and bake it. Honey is a particular one. I wasn't very keen on either of those, but second go around, I ate half the baked Camembert for my lunch, which is a lot. But then when I reheated it, I added a bowl of passion fruit pulp, which I keep on hand for various reasons. I often eat ice cream with passion fruit. So I made a little bowl of it to dip the reheated Camembert in pastry in it, and that was really nice. So that was my Plough Monday, and now we're on into Carnival. I'm not quite really prepared for that yet. I'm going to have to think about it because that's a whole different set of dishes and ideas and decorations and what have you. So meanwhile, I hope you have a good week. I hope you tell your friends about my videos. I hope you get them to like and subscribe. And I'll be back on Friday with something, don't know what. Have a good week.